Hi, welcome to episode 3 of the series. This episode, shotguns. We're going to be looking to answer 2 questions today: which frame is best for PvE, and how different they are to each other. Right, let's take a look at the options, and we'll show on screen some examples of each frame and where to find them. First, aggressive frames. A larger circular pellet spread, hits really hard but slow firing. Also, the lowest base magazine size at 4, but this frame does carry the most reserves at 18, and has 2 which are craftable. Next, precision frames. The longest reaching of the pellet shotguns, at a base range of just over 5.5 meters. Also having a vertical pellet spread compared to other shotguns. There are not many of these in the game right now, and only one has an origin perk, that one being the Compass Rose from the Solstice event. Over to the pinpoint slug frames, a singular slug shotgun, and the longest reaching of the shotguns with a base range of 9 meters. It also has the highest crit multiplier of 75%. They were made popular in PvE for playing a big part of day 1 Deep Zone crit grade boss damage, with some help from Divinity. Next, lightweight frames. The perk of lightweights is them giving a bonus to mobility and movement speed when equipped, also having naturally higher handling, giving them a satisfying handling experience. Lightweights also have a slightly higher fire rate compared to all the previously mentioned. Finally, rapid fire frames. The fastest firing frame, and has the highest base magazine size to help, but does have the lowest base range with just over 4.5 meters. They do also commonly come with the highest damaging perks, like Trench Barrel. Okay, let's take a look at the results. Right, from looking at the results, there are different perspectives to answer what is the best. So I'll lay all the results out and we can make our own choices. Raw damage is if never needing to reload, so we can see potential sustained damage. Here we can see that the rapid fire frames massively win in this category by a very large margin, 45% above the next closest frame, and 33% if only looking at crits. But we all know that this isn't everything, so let's take a look at when reloading comes into account. Here we can see the gap is greatly closed, some now as little as 8% behind the rapid fires, but they still lead. But again, being special weapon, other things can be more important. Here we can see the single shot damage, important if you want to fire one shot to get the kill. Now we see aggressive frames take the top spot, almost 40% over the rapid fire frames. Now let's take a look at the reserves damage. As we can see here, aggressives win here as well, having the highest single shot and combined with the highest reserve ammo. Comes out way ahead of the others. So we can all see it really depends on how you intend to use the weapon. Want to be running between multiple tough enemies and putting them down in one shot? Aggressive frames would be the play. Want to have one as an up close DPS option? Rapid fires are going to be the play. So it's all a case by case scenario. So what are my final thoughts personally on shotguns? Shotguns need a buff in PvE. From going over the data, fusion rifles beat them in almost all categories, apart from single shot, which is the only thing that they win in. Even if managing to get within 4.6 meters of a boss without getting stomped away, rapid fire shotguns on raw damage, which is not including reload time, can't beat rapid fire fusions. Then when including the reload times, every fusion rifle beats every shotgun, and they have 3 times the range. Only thing going for shotguns right now are the perks. Trench Barrel and 1-2 Punch are really needed for either utility or damage buffing. If having to pick a shotgun, personally I prefer something that doesn't lack on the single shot damage. I'd much rather something that can put something down in one shot rather than multiple, without needing to consciously activate a perk. Aggressives are a little too slow firing for my taste, and pellet spread is a bit much for my liking. I'd prefer to say something along the lines of the precision frames, but there are not many in the game right now with modern perks. Pinpoint slugs rely way too heavily with landing crits, and some enemies have them covered, or are turned away from you, or have a shield blocking the chance to use the crit modifier. So we'll likely go for the lightweights. In the kinetic slot, we have the Wastelander, which is a craftable and kinetic, giving an extra 15% to his damage. And in the special slot we have the Without Remorse, which is also craftable. Both of these being craftable means we can bump the range as much as we like with barrel and mag perks. Due to the handling being naturally high, we don't have to consider this, and have access to the enhanced perks. So over to you, what do you think? Do you have a favourite shotgun right now? How do you tend to use shotguns in PvE? Let me know in the comments section below, as I'm really curious of what others use, as don't tend to see them used all that often. This is the third episode so far of the second series, covering all special weapons, so be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up to date on the next episodes coming out. Series 1 covered all primary weapons, and finished with the full meta breakdown of primaries, which you can find in the channel's playlist if you're curious. Thank you so much for watching this far. Only thing I could ever ask for is a like on the video, as it majorly helps the channel. A comment of any sort as well goes a long way too. Thanks again, and remember, never let your tea go cold.